And that's somebody you'll choose to miss out on. Like,
So I never say I'll go miss. I just say it's probably not being a dad.
And then you say time doesn't matter. That's 13 months of you not being.
So,
all right, we understand you get to the hospital, you don't think the baby is yours.
Me who sit there and yell in my face about how his ex-girlfriend is so much better than me. She was. Oh, really? Then why? Oh, really? Oh, really? Then why do we have to have a DNA test on the other
Let's
son?
get some order.
Mr. Streety really walked into paternity court like, "Your Honor, I got scared, and I'd like a refund." He says Miss Johnson's haunted house co-worker might have haunted their relationship so bad that her 13-month-old son, DeAndre, might not be his.
Mr. Streety, you say you got spooked when you found out that your ex-girlfriend, Miss Johnson, cheated with a man she worked with at a haunted house. You have dragged the defendant into court today to prove that you are not her 13-month-old son, DeAndre's father.
And the wild part? He admits he signed a birth certificate before even being sure. Judge Lake is basically like, "Sir, why would you do that?" You can hear the regret in his voice already.
About her, when we first met, she was already pregnant. I mean, we were trying to make things happen. We were trying to be a family, you know what I'm saying? She told me her situation. Kids' fathers weren't really there. I'm a good man. I felt like that was a role I was gonna have to take on if I wanted to be with her.
Then it gets messier. He says when they first got together, she was already pregnant, and he still stepped up for the whole family. Judge Lake is staring like, "So you knowingly volunteered for a lifetime subscription?"
Yeah. The other one, you're on the birth certificate, but you're not the biological father, but you have 2 other children besides that.
I have 3 other children besides that.
Now tell me about this relationship before you got pregnant with DeAndre.
We met back up after years of not seeing each other.
Ms. Johnson tries to explain their relationship history, but Mr. Streety jumps in with the Denver story like it's his villain origin. He moved away, came back, proposed, and she's hinting he was still acting suspicious.
Yeah, plus their older siblings too.
And the older sibling.
It's not like you didn't know.
But you signed the birth certificate of the first child.
Yeah, this last one. And his brother, the 2 youngest.
But you knew that. That's what you agreed to do.
Yeah, but I did that to show you that
Wait, I want to
there.
be clear.
Now Mr. Streety comes with an actual timeline exhibit, like he's presenting evidence on a true crime podcast. He claims he moved out, then started spotting her with another man. Cue the dramatic courtroom zoom in.
Why do you doubt? DeAndre's yours.
I approached her,
Insecurity.
I will tell you.
This is what the exhibit is about?
Yes, ma'am.
Please approach.
Thank you. We have a timeline here. Moved in together in or around April. This is her parents' house. This is one of their properties, okay? All of her bills, automatically my responsibilities.
No, they
All right?
weren't.
First sighting, the gas station. He's mad because the dude is sitting in the truck while Ms. Johnson pumps the gas. Petty, but I get it. The optics are wild.
All right, guess who come bending around the corner? Her in the same nut that I saw earlier at the gas station. This time he's driving. Whoa, okay, if he's driving.
And that's
that'd
the
be
car
suspicious.
below, driving with other man. That's the same other man.
Same person.
Same
yeah.
guy.
This is around the time when I discovered that she's pregnant. Okay, you got to understand, I'm gonna feel some type of way.
Now, Mr. Streety, hold your thought.
Second sighting. She rolls by his uncle's house with the same guy driving, and Mr. Streety is basically like, "Aha, that's my proof." I mean, just look at how fast he's connecting dots that may or may not exist.
Yeah, sure.
You were with another man.
I was, but all that took place in October. I didn't meet the guy until October.
No. She tells me that, Your Honor, and as far as she's concerned, she's gonna tell me that.
And
all
so,
right?
Mr.
As far as I'm concerned,
Streety, I just want to make sure. Now, how do you know it's August? You just remember that was the date?
No, that's when I saw him. As far as I'm concerned, after this time passed by, she told me.
Ms. Johnson admits she was with another man, but swears it all happened in October, and she didn't meet him until the haunted house job. Mr. Streety is not buying that timeline for 1 second. His face probably says cap in 4K.
Same person that I saw earlier. You can't prove to me that it's not.
All right, and then in October, that's when it is revealed to you that she cheated.
Yeah, that she had been cheated in October, okay? So if you had been doing that in October, and you not just telling me you only slept together 2 or 3 times.
Then Judge Lake hits the key question. So when did you find out she cheated? And Mr. Streety clarifies it wasn't even the haunted house. It was in their house, in their bed. Talk about messy.
And you not just telling me you only slept together 2 or 3 times.
You got found out she cheated with a haunted house. She was in the haunted house cheating?
No, she was in the house that we were living in with them kids. That's where she was at.
Oh.
The same bed that I was
Oh,
lying in.
she was working
She told
with the
me that.
guy at the haunted house.
Not even there.
And right when you think it can't get more chaotic, they start arguing about the water bill. Ms. Johnson basically implies he took his name off the water so she wouldn't be showering with the new guy. This is petty history in the making.
What sense did that make if you didn't plan on paying?
Wait a minute, Mr.
bills?
Streety, you took your name off the water bill because you didn't want her taking a shower with this new man?
No, he decided that he was gonna take his name off the water bill and go freelance and do whatever it is he wanted to do.
Meanwhile, I have a
Wait, what's freelance mean?
Can I go back?
Now we get the infamous freelance misunderstanding, and Judge Lake is like, wait, what does freelance mean? Ms. Johnson explains he was making beats for free, and the whole court is cracking up because that word choice did him zero favors.
Are you done with your
Yes,
exhibit,
ma'am.
sir? Yes, please step back to the podium.
He made beat, or he would help record songs with other people without a fee.
Oh, I thought you meant he was freelancing with other women.
I mean, his ex, of course. Like, he would leave my house just to see his ex and their child.
Ms. Johnson fires back saying his whole calendar is wrong. They moved in earlier, he moved out in June, and she got pregnant in July. She's saying the haunted house man showed up later, after she was already pregnant.
Isn't that much. So I'll say in July, that's when I got pregnant. And this right here, all this happened in October.
So you saying he got the dates all mixed up?
He does.
And you're saying that when he saw you with the other man driving around, you were already pregnant?
Yes, I was. I was already pregnant.
Were you sleeping with the other man?
Mr. Streety insists it's the same guy he saw earlier, and Mrs. Johnson calls him delusional to his face. You can feel the tension rising here. This isn't even about DNA right now. It's about pride.
So, Ms. Johnson, so you say you were already pregnant, but you say you saw her with the other man before you realized she's pregnant. Take me to the point when she tells you she's pregnant.
I went over there to just go check on her. We just laying there. She's like, yo, as a matter of fact, I asked her, have you been with somebody else?
Then the emotional shift hits hard. Ms. Johnson starts tearing up, talking about how he's been in her kids' lives since her daughter was one. And honestly, just look how hurt she is. She's not crying for drama. She's crying for stability.
And she's 5 now. And knowing that he knows that they don't know their fathers don't come around or call or check on them. And then for him to step up to that position and then all of a sudden slowly weed his way out, that just drives me
Don't
to
sit up.
just
Well,
feel
don't sit
as
up.
though
Don't sit up.
Let her talk, let her talk.
Mr. Streety tries to defend himself by talking about responsibility and how he doesn't like being pushed into everything. Judge Lake basically says, okay, but doubt has to come from somewhere. What made you think she was with the guy before conception?
It's so uncomfortable that you backpedal out of there and that you decide that this baby, Ziandre, is not yours.
Because when you sit there and you put your responsibilities on me, after I take them on, yeah, but you don't never put your responsibilities on another person and make them feel bad when they're not doing as much as you should be doing in the first place.
Now we circle back to the big question. Why sign the birth certificate if you had doubts? He says he was already stepping up for the other kids and thought he was doing the right thing. Cue Judge Lake's "Sir" stare.
I'm sitting there in the hospital holding him.
So wait a minute, this is what I want to understand. How do we go from this picture of you in the hospital to Ziandre is now 13 months old and you're saying you don't believe he's your biological?
The reason why I have my doubts is y'all see a picture of him. Look at me and her.
And then comes his evidence. He says both parents are dark, but the baby is yellow. And the other man he saw was lighter too. Judge Lake reminds him genetics can do all kinds of weird throwback magic. Science is not a vibes-based system, my guy.
It is about your genes. You can make a child. It could be a throwback from another generation. You can have a child that is a different shade of brown than you, and it doesn't mean it's yours.
Okay, I understand that Ziandre looks more like Shantae.
Ms. Johnson admits she slept with the other man, but says it was only 2 or 3 times during that haunted housework period. Mr. Streety is still stuck on the betrayal, and you can tell the trust is absolutely fried.
Spending time with him? No, it did. I still did that.
And you signed that birth certificate willingly?
Yeah.
Ms. Johnson, you admit you slept with this other person.
I did.
Did you tell this other person you were pregnant to?
I told him, yes, Your Honor.
Now, has he met Ziandre?
He has not, Your Honor.
Before result, Judge Lake rules on Mr. Streety's $108 request to remove his name from the birth certificate. She denies it because he admitted he signed voluntarily, so he's not getting reimbursed for his own decision.
You do this this voluntarily, willingly, and you answer to the court yes. Without any evidence that Ms. Johnson tried to defraud you, did anything to coerce you, put forth any circumstances that would mislead you to sign this birth certificate, I cannot award you $108 because you did this on your own volition.
And now, cue the drum roll, because Judge Lake says it's time for the results. You can practically hear hearts pounding in the room. This is the moment that decides everything.
With that said, it's time for the results. Jerome, these results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Streety versus Johnson, when it comes to 13-month-old Zeandre Streety,
Boom. DNA says Mr. Streety.
it has been determined by this court. Mr. Streety, you are the father.
I told you.
How do you feel now, Mr. Streety, now that you know for certain?
That just shows right there that she did have somewhat of some kind of respect for me. You know what I'm saying? She never been unsure. I always been unsure.
Mr. Lloyd comes into paternity court trying to prove he's the biological father of Courtney Marie, while Miss Raley is sitting there absolutely convinced he's not. 2 men, 1 child, and a whole lot of confidence on one side of the courtroom. This already feels like a recipe for chaos.
Mr. Lloyd, you are in court today to prove that you are the biological father of the defendant's 1.5-year-old daughter, Courtney Marie Grimes. You claim the defendant led you to believe that you were the father only to have a bomb dropped on you that another man was her dad. Is that correct?
Judge Lake lays it out clearly. Mr. Lloyd says he was led to believe he was the father, then had the rug yanked out from under him. You can hear it in his voice. That shock still stings. Meanwhile, Ms. Raley looks calm, like she's already decided how this ends.
I had met Mr. Lloyd. Of course, I was ending my last relationship with the other party.
All right, so then you had finished the other relationship or you were still kind of seeing this other guy?
We had like just ended. It wasn't even a month apart or a week apart that me and him had ended, and we had started getting intimate right there.
Ms. Raley admits she had just gotten out of a relationship when she met Mr. Lloyd, and by just, she means there wasn't even a week in between. Judge Lake's face says it all. The math is already getting suspicious.
So I already had doubts about it. So the 3rd month, I take her mom out to eat, and we just nipped it in the bud like, this your baby. It's like when she like 3-4 months pregnant.
Do you remember this dinner meeting, Ms. Raley?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you all cleared the air and told Mr. Lloyd there's no doubt you are the father?
Yes, Your Honor.
So why is it all of a sudden, 3 months, 2 months before the baby's born, you tell him he's not the father?
Mr. Lloyd explains that as the relationship went on, he caught real feelings and even moved in with Mrs. Raley. That's not casual dating. That's commitment territory. You can almost hear the audience thinking, yeah, this is about to hurt.
Into the pregnancy, did she tell you that you're not the father?
It was like the last 4 months, but the 7, 8 months, I left. I said, I'm done with it. This not my baby. I moved to Indiana. I stayed down there for like a month, 2. I get a phone call. She like, I have doubts. I don't think Courtney, I think the baby was even born actually.
When Ms. Raley told him she was pregnant, Mr. Lloyd says he was excited because this would be his first child, but then he admits he already knew about another man in the picture. That excitement came with a side of doubt.
But you say that this window between Mr. Grimes and Mr. Lloyd is only a span of 2 to 3 weeks anyway, right?
3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Or 4. Yeah, 3 to 4 weeks.
I didn't even know the baby got born. I had to find out on Facebook.
How old was Courtney when you first met her? Did you ever get to see her?
Ms. Raley says she later told Mr. Lloyd the baby might not be his, and he left. But then she called him back, saying she had doubts about the other man too. That emotional back and forth is exhausting just to listen to.
Yeah.
Way too much synergy here.
Actually, I think she already had the baby. Me and Curtis Grimes had came to a conclusion and actually met up on Facebook and was trying to find out because she was still playing that it was my baby and still playing his baby. So we met up.
Actually,
we drove
they
up
pulled
to
up on me. I said, okay, so both of them asked me in the car together. They in the car together. I'm with another friend.
Now here's where it gets wild. The other potential father, Mr. Grimes, enters the picture. The baby has his last name, but Mr. Lloyd claims he picked the baby's first and middle name. Judge Lake pauses like, so everybody was planning this child?
You told Mr. Lloyd, but you are basically the daddy. Because we say in this courtroom it takes DNA to be a father, but it takes love to be a daddy. So
Correct,
you say
Your
Mr.
Honor.
Lloyd stepped up to be the daddy.
He be there for Courtney no matter what. He's always there. He's a good dad to her.
Both men explain they actually teamed up to confront Ms. Raley together. Imagine sitting in a car with the two possible fathers of your child rolling up for answers. That's not teamwork, that's stress with a seatbelt on.
Like, we both still seeing her to this day, you know? So
You both still seeing her.
we both still seeing Courtney. I mean, he been to Memphis more than me. I've been to Memphis one time. He been down there 3-4 times. But Shantia not telling me that.
So you saying this is supposedly your biological child with your last name, but this other man has been to see the child more than you.
Mr. Grimes admits he has doubts because Mrs. Raley was still seeing both of them. The trust is clearly gone, and even he doesn't sound confident anymore. This is turning into pure drama overload.
Done through the state, but it also can just be done personally between the parents. I mean, I tell people handle it through the living room so you don't have to handle it through the courtroom. So have you helped with this child?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have. Mr. Grimes, she has your last name. Have you been helping to support Courtney since she's been born?
Then the bomb drops. Mr. Grimes is only 23 years old and already has 6 children. If Courtney is his, that makes 7. Judge Lake doesn't even need to say anything. The courtroom is already stunned.
I actually went and begged for my job back so I can support my daughter.
This would be your first child.
Yes, Your Honor.
So this matters to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
But Ms. Raley has maintained consistently throughout this hearing that you are not Courtney's biological father. But that still does not sway you because you feel like you are.
Ms. Raley tries to argue physical traits, and Judge Lake shuts that down immediately. No hair comparisons, no guessing games, only science matters here. You could cut the tension with a knife.
Because the truth is, as a people, honestly, you gotta take that out your vocabulary. The reason why this courtroom exists is to help ensure that children don't have to go without their father. So this ain't no joke to me, so don't come in here with no racial nonsense.
Mr. Lloyd says the baby reminds him of himself as a child, right down to a birthmark and a diaper dance. He's clinging to every possible sign because emotionally, he's already attached. Heartbreaking stuff.
What gives me the reason that she is mine, my mom told me when I was little, when she used to change my diaper, used to do this diaper dance. I
Okay.
used to be excited. Courtney does the same thing when you change her diaper. And I have a birthmark on my life, on my left side of my forehead, as well as Courtney. That gives me a strong doubt that it is mine.
Judge Lake delivers a blunt reality check to both parents about responsibility and birth control. When she calls them a baby factory, you know patience has officially run out. The courtroom goes dead silent.
It's my first time hearing that one also.
You have a doubt about the subsequent child as well, the paternity?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what makes me upset about this whole situation because they be trying to play me like I'm just this bad person, this bad mother, and this just bad. And I'm not. I had conversations way before I even turned 7 months that he's not the father.
Mr. Lloyd says if Courtney is his, he's ready to fully step up and be present. And if she's not, he's walking away for good. That's the kind of moment where everything is on the line.
But that's why I don't think she minds, to be honest with you.
Well,
Listen.
DNA would tell it all.
Listen. Everybody in here has a part to play in this. Because none of you protected yourselves. Y'all run around here having too many babies like you baby factories. I mean, Detroit is a factory town, but this is not the type.
He's a factor in his own self.
Hold on. I'm from Detroit. I'm serious.
Here it is. The DNA results are red.
It has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Lloyd.
I knew it from the start. You done, bro.
Calm down, because the truth is, it's not done. Because you might have another baby, you potentially impregnated the same girl again.
Mr. Adle storms in accusing paternity fraud, while Ms. Jones swears she's 100% sure about the dad. And then, plot twist, we learn they're swingers with rules. Talk about messy.
Mr. Adle, you are here today to prove Ms. Jones committed paternity fraud. Claim Ms. Jones duped you into signing her daughter's birth certificate only to find out after her child was born that she cheated prior to getting pregnant.
Rule number 1, no solo hookups. Rule number 2, always use protection. She admits she stepped out, but insists she used a condom. Meanwhile, he's fuming about the broken rules. Drama overload already.
She went outside of the relationship, she cheated on me, and now she's trying to pin the baby on me.
So wait, you have swinger rules.
Yes, ma'am.
What are the rules? What are the terms?
The rules are you don't go outside of the relationship and have sexual relations with anyone outside of the relationship unless the other one is present.
Then boom, she says there's a picture of him in her bed with someone else. Two wrongs don't make a right, but they do make great TV. I mean, just look at that energy.
You know?
Right.
She went against...
That's a lie. I used a condom.
You broke the rules because you had sex with someone outside of the relationship, but you say you did use protection.
Yes.
So just one rule broke.
Yes. He cheated too, though. I did it out of spite.
You did it out of spite.
They met at a get-together, had drinks, and things escalated fast. He had swinger experience and eventually talked her into it. Can anyone else feel the tension rising here?
In my bed with someone else.
A picture of Mr. Adle in the bed with somebody else, your bed?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's why you cheated, because you saw that picture, so then you went out and did it.
Absolutely.
Now we know two wrongs never make a right. It just makes drama, right?
Yes.
He posted an ad online, couple looking to spice things up. The confidence in his delivery is wild. You can tell he's done this before. Cue the drum roll for chaos.
I had talked her into it. It took a lot of convincing.
At first, I thought he was crazy. Why would you want to sleep with somebody else other than your loved one?
Because
That's what I'm thinking.
It's exciting.
But I gave it a chance because I loved him.
So the first time you all have this threesome, what happened?
They were looking for a man because she wouldn't allow him to be with a woman. His sex is sex line had Judge Lawrence side-eyeing the entire lifestyle. Talk about bold.
Start.
Well, the way we did it was we put an ad out online.
An ad online?
Yes.
What would an ad like this say? Go ahead, you know what it says. You know, you
would say-
he's trying to act like now he don't know quite how to phrase it. You know what they say. What does it say?
The title would say, couple looking to spice things up.
Judge asks the real question. How do you watch someone else with your partner? He says he thought she might like it, then finds out 2 days later she didn't. Things got rocky quickly.
Have sex with them. Sorry, I've taken this way too far. But I truly want to know, what is it?
My thought process was to introduce something that she may be interested in. You know, something, you know, she didn't want me to have sex with another woman because of jealousy issues or whatever the case may be.
He vets guys by text to see if they're smart and not a bird brain. Sir, this is not LinkedIn. It's your relationship. The confidence is unmatched.
Where she told me she didn't like it.
All
You know
right, so
what I'm saying?
tell me what happened. The man answers the ad, and do you vet them at all? I mean, you just say they answered the ad and now you can come over? How does that work?
By talking to someone through text message or email, I can tell whether they're intelligent or they're a bird brain.
The night happens. Drinks, massage, old school R&B. Judge calls it 50 Shades of Paternity. You could cut the awkward with a knife. I mean, just look at that reaction.
Someone interested in having a good time as well.
Exactly.
So what happens the night that this happens?
The night that happened, you know, we invited the gentleman over. We had some drinks to loosen up, you know, more for her case because she had no.
So how does this work? They just ring the doorbell and they're like, "Hi, I'm the swinger."
We
She admits she was intimate with both men, but the paternity night wasn't the threesome night. Translation: we have multiple messy nights on the board, folks. Yikes.
No, and then after that we went from there. She went on me, you know, we were listening to some old school R&B.
Okay, I feel like the testimony now is very specific. I mean, this is turning into 50 Shades of Paternity. So the bottom line is it happened.
He learns later she also slept with a friend when he wasn't around, and he's crushed. Her reason? She felt neglected and wanted to get under his skin. Drama at its finest, folks.
And Miss Jones, did you have intercourse with both men that night?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
All right. So is this the night that was the basis of the paternity question?
No.
No.
No, I was not present when she had sex with this man. You know, I was present when she had sex with the guy that we invited over.
He says she confessed during an argument after the baby was already a month old. Imagine bonding with a newborn and then hearing, maybe not yours. Heartbreaking stuff.
Without Mr. Adle, how did you find it out?
I found out when we had an argument. You know, she had confessed to me that she cheated. I was gone for a night. She had confessed to me the next day, and this happened just about last month, so it was all the way through the pregnancy.
He starts pulling back, afraid to deepen the bond if he isn't the father. You can see the hurt all over him. This is the kind of tension that stings.
So you went through this entire process without any clue that she had had sex with somebody else. You thought you had a beautiful baby, you formed a bond with the baby. Everything was great until just 1 month ago you realized that this baby, 2 months old.
Calendar time. Conception points to August, and she says the other man was mid-August, while she and Mr. Adle were intimate all through the end of the month. Everyone leans in. Cue the suspense music.
And in the middle of August,
Yes.
you said you had sex with Mr. Adle when?
Throughout the whole month. Throughout the whole
Oh, so
end
that's
of the
why
month.
it's a sex
The
month.
end of the month. After that, one night with his friend, we had sex every night, unprotected, all the way into September.
He argues eye color and dominant genes, but Judge reminds everyone, resemblance doesn't prove paternity. Facts over vibes, always.
The man that she cheated on me with has blue eyes. She has blue eyes, and the baby has blue eyes.
That don't mean nothing.
Of course,
You guys sleep the same.
you sleep the same.
Yes, and your guys' head
I
shapes
could name
are
10
the
different
same.
people who sleep the same as me.
He vows that if he's the dad, he'll step up and start a life with her. You can feel how badly he wants certainty. This hits hard.
I'm gonna be the man I need to be, and I'm gonna be there for her, and we're gonna start a life.
When you say start a life, do you two want to have a relationship together?
I loved her since the day I met her, and I'd like to move on with her.
Here it is, envelope time. Judge Lake reads, Mr. Al.
I think it's time for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Adle versus Jones, when it comes to 2-month-old Jessela Adle,
Judge's final zinger lands. The only swinging you need to be doing is at the park with your baby, and that's the mic drop this circus needed.
it has been determined by this court, Mr. Adle, you are the father.
I told you.
Makes you emotional.
Yes, it does. Very emotional.
And why is that?
Because I built a relationship with a child, and I'd like to continue.
She walks into paternity court, claiming her ex-fiancé happily got her pregnant, then vanished when the baby arrived. Meanwhile, he's sitting there like, this was just a fling. And already you can tell this is about to get messy. Talk about starting off rocky.
Ms. Wiley, you state your ex-fiancé happily got you pregnant, but now refuses to do anything for your 1-year-old son, Jabrodrick. You claim today's DNA test will prove he is Jabrodrick's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Wiley says she opened this case just to prove Tobias is her son's father, period. But Mr. Ziegler fires back, saying he's being targeted because he's the best option, not because he's actually the dad. I mean, that's a wild accusation right out the gate.
Need this just to prove to him that he's losing out on raising his son.
Are you letting everybody get in your head, Mr. Ziegler?
No, ma'am. This is where I'm at with the case, Your Honor. Just because she's standing over there saying that I'm 100% the father, it does not prove to me that I am. And I think I'm only being targeted because she knows I have a great relationship with my other kids.
Then we get the origin story, social media messages, a place to stay, and suddenly they're living together. She says they were engaged, and he's like, whoa, hold up, that was just a promise ring. Sir, that Facebook post did some damage.
Age. We were
Never
supposed to
told
be
our
married
boy.
all 26, so we wasn't girlfriend and boyfriend. What was it?
Okay, I brought her a promise ring. She took a picture of the promise ring on her finger and she posted it on Facebook, and everybody started commenting under it, Your Honor.
So you proposed through social media and didn't even know it?
Judge Lake presses him because friends don't usually live together and sleep together. He admits they were intimate, but still insists it wasn't a real relationship. You can already feel the disconnect between how they experienced this whole situation.
For a fact.
So wouldn't you be a possibility at
It's
least?
a possibility, yeah. I was having sex with her during the time she was conceived, but I was not the only one.
You said you know you could be a possibility.
I know that.
So since you know that, were you involved in the pregnancy?
No, I wouldn't. I didn't take her to no doctor's appointment. I didn't do none of that.
When the pregnancy comes up, he says he immediately denied being the father because he knew she was sleeping with other men. He admits he could be a possibility, but says he emotionally checked out to protect himself. That wall is UP.
I came to the hospital after he was born. I came to the hospital just to see if he had any features of mine.
Do you bond with the baby at all?
He never
No,
seen
I
my
never-
baby inside of the house.
I never touch the baby or nothing like that.
Nothing.
He didn't see a
Nothing.
picture. He didn't do nothing.
Did you
He
sign
came
the
and sat on
birth
couch.
certificate?
I did not sign the birth certificate.
And that's somebody you'll choose to miss out on. Like,
It gets colder when he admits he didn't go to appointments, didn't bond, and barely even saw the baby. He literally says he went to the hospital just to check if the baby had his features. I mean, that's harsh.
Other reasons why you doubt that Jabrajic is your biological child.
The number one reason is she was dealing with a close family member of mine when I met Kabash. Keep that in mind. So I'm not, just for her coming to me saying, I'm pregnant, I'm not gonna jump claim that baby. The second reason is I came and looked at the baby when he was in the hospital. The baby has no feature of me. Here goes the baby right here. You know what I'm saying? The baby has no features of mine.
Then comes the infamous new daddy story. A child in the house allegedly saying, "You're not my daddy anymore." His face says, "Yeah, I clocked out right there." Ms. Wiley immediately calls it a lie, and the tension spikes.
You know what I'm saying?
A kid?
A kid at her house. When I came to visit her, I have a new daddy. You're not my daddy anymore. You know what I'm saying? I have a new daddy. Oh, okay. That part she's not telling.
that's false, Your Honor. First of all,
You're not my daddy anymore. That's
oh,
what
he
I-
lying.
Judge Lake asks the big question. Were there other men? Ms. Wiley admits yes. She was seeing another guy and still sleeping with Mr. Ziegler. And here's the kicker. She told one man there were two possibilities and told the other he was 100% the dad. Woo!
As daddy. That's it.
And that wasn't you.
That wasn't me. The guy
And that's
started with
who you think could be Jabradric's biological father.
That's who I think could be his father. Starts with a J. I can't pronounce the name, but the little guy was saying J. But some start with a J. You're not my daddy anymore.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you, Ms. Wiley, were you sleeping with somebody else during this time?
Now, the timeline comes out, and Judge Lake pulls out the conception calculator. Based on dates alone, things are leaning toward the other man, not Mr. Ziegler. You can see everyone doing math in their head at the same time.
All right, and then if I go to the conception calculator, the window of conception would be November 10th through November 16th. Let's go back to the iPad. You said you had sex with the other guy the 5th through the 11th, so that would point that to the directions the man with the name that starts with a J.
Enter Mr. Cleveland, calm, confident, and absolutely convinced he is not the father. Even though he admits unprotected sex during the conception window, he's still like, yeah, nah. Judge Lake is not buying that confidence at all.
Jabradric, whose name also starts with a J. Do you believe you are Jabradric's biological father?
No, ma'am.
So were you having a sexual relationship with Ms. Wiley?
Yeah, but she had told me about this guy. She had already told me who a real baby daddy was.
Mr. Ziegler finally opens up about past trauma, admitting he once raised a child for years, only to find out it wasn't his. You can feel the hurt in his voice, and suddenly his distance makes more sense.
Child up to 4 years old and figure out that it's not yours. So I'm here to protect my heart space, really. That's what it is. I'm not saying I'm not the daddy. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying it's a strong possibility that I'm not, but I know it's a possibility that I am too. I'm here to get the truth. That's why I'm here. I did.
And you know that's a recipe for a baby.
Then Ms. Wiley admits there may actually be a third man involved. Judge Lake gently shifts the tone, asking what it means to her for her child to have a father. Her answer is raw, emotional, and honestly hard to watch.
To have a daddy. What does that mean to you?
I know what it's like not to have one, so I don't know what it is. I just want my child to have a father. I mean, I always looked up for it to be two parents in one household, but I don't even care as long as you know to do your part and I can do mine so we can co-parent. I just want him to know that he has a dad.
Judge Lake calls for the envelope, and you can hear a pin drop. After all the chaos, confusion, and crossed stories, the DNA results are finally in.
It has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Ziegler. That's your baby boy. Handsome young man, too.
Ms. Wiley feels relief and pain at the same time, saying this could have been handled so much sooner. Mr. Ziegler promises to step up now that he knows the truth, and Judge Lake delivers one final reminder about what real fatherhood looks like.
Trying to push him to get a test done for the longest. My son could have been at his father, and it took 13 months to do it. But I thank you for your help.
The cries of a mother.
Like I say, I'm a great father. I just didn't want to get my heart caught up into the little guy and it come out not to be mine. Now that I know everything, I'll take care of my business supposed to like I do with my rest of my kids.